hell, let me have a seat on a bucket. So today we're going to talk about how to siphon your substrate with your gravel vac. So before I go into the actual starting of the gravel vac, I would like to talk about my favorite gravel vac. What makes a good one? Well, a good gravel vac is going to have a nice hose. Hose is very important. And the reason why is, if it's not a good quality hose, when you go to bend it, they'll actually kink. And when they kink like that, you're getting very poor performance out of your siphon tube. So you kind of want a quality hose. I like the Python brand. The Python brand by far gives you the best hose. The second thing you want is you want it to have a nice attachment at the tip, because otherwise when you're in the middle of vacuuming, this pops off and that's a pain in the butt too. So again, Python seems to satisfy all those. The problem with Python is distribution is rather poor sometimes. It's made in the USA, I believe, and I guess getting components during the COVID times are rough, so we can't always have this. And when I can't get this one, I sell the aquarium one next. It has a fairly solid hose, and it's got a nice tube. The only problem with the aquarium one is they give you a little check valve inside here. And if you watched my previous video on sucking and jerking, you would know that the valve is not ideal. So I will just, generally I'll just pull this off of the aquarium brand. I'll take a screwdriver in there and I will break that check valve out, because it's just going to slow down the performance of the actual siphoning. And if it's planted tanks, you know, pieces of plants go in there and jam up on it. If it's even reef tanks, small snail doors, trap doors will get caught in it sometimes where they may have passed otherwise. So yeah, I am not a fan of check valves inside the tube. The other thing is the tube. I get all the time. Oh, I've got a really tall tank, so I want this really long tube. Well, the problem with the long tube is you can't get to all the nooks and crannies. So if I have a tank that I have some sort of aquascaping in here and my glass is here, the back of your siphon will hit the glass and I can't actually like get it down and get in some places because this is banging it because it's too long. I think a 10 to 12 inch tube is ideal. Yeah, so what? Your hand's gonna get wet. I mean, you own an aquarium, for Christ's sakes. At some point, your hand's gonna get wet. It might as well get wet while you're doing something good for your aquarium and actually removing some water. If you have a really tall tank, I'm talking generally over 2 foot tall, then maybe I can see a 16 inch tube, assuming the tank depth is at least 18 to 24 inches and the scaping isn't like all jammed up next to the glass, because you will find it very difficult to get to some of them places if the tube is too long. So 10 to 12 inches really is the perfect size. A little shorter works too. Too big, not so good. All right, so we talked about the quality of the hose, we talked about the length of the tube, so we are going to now commence with some siphoning. So here we go, gang. You don't have to do that, and you don't have to shake it in and out because we don't have a check valve. And let me tell you, those are 2 ways to make a big damn mess too. So it is so simple and so easy. You can do this with practice with just one hand, but we're gonna do it with 2 hands. So I am going to want everybody to pay attention. I've got this in a vertical position. I'm gonna dip it into the tank. It is now full of water. I'm just gonna pick it straight up out of the water in a vertical or sort of vertical position. And as I see water start to go down the hose and get about halfway in, I'm gonna stick it back in the same vertical position to 45-degree angle, let's say, that I pulled it out at. So watch how easy. Up, there goes the water. I'm siphoning water, gang. Because this is video and there's gonna be some people like, I don't see no damn water siphoning. He ain't got nothing going on. There it is. I'm gonna break the siphon. I am not siphoning. We're going to do it one more time. Now, a beginner way to do this would be fill this up, kink the hose over, pull it out of the water, get it about halfway, put it back in vertical, let the air out, turn it over, and you've got a siphon just that fast. When you get good at it and you want to play games, then you just get good at, and boom, I'm siphoning water. So the next thing is, I want to not just pull out a bunch of water. The purpose of my cleaning is not only to pull out water, but it's to remove detritus out of the substrate as well. Well, what about sand? I have sand. You can't clean sand. Oh, you absolutely can clean it all. Because this right here, let me take my in. Never before have you gotten a tutorial this good on vacuuming, I assure you. I am not pulling water out right now. And so long as I keep that kink, I am not drawing water out of the system. I want to isolate the drawing of water at the same time as I'm going through the substrate. So I'm just going to keep this kinked. So I got it like this. I'm going to go down into the substrate. I'm going to open it up. Here it comes. There goes the sand. I'm kinking it again. The sand is dropping. There goes the detritus. See there? And I'll just move it over. And I'm not drawing out water while I'm moving it over. I control the pace that the water comes. I work the kink. I'm letting the sand drop. I'm just pulling out detritus. Let's get back over here. I sense a lot of goodness over here. Oh yeah. Yeah, now see, getting in this spot right here with a long tube would be a problem, but because we are masters of the short tube, I'm going in here and my offhand, the one not on the siphon itself, is the one where all the magic goes, because I'm watching what's happening in the tube. The tube is telling me when to pinch. If I see my substrate starting to get too close to the top, if I see some big chunk of something or another going in, that's where I'll get it. See if I can get in here. So it's a little big to get in here, but because I don't have a long tube, I can kind of work a bit of an angle. That's pretty clean. Let my sand drop. I'm not siphoning yet. Coming back in. All right. So I hope, and because I have a short tube, I'm able to get back in here. Oh God, some bad stuff back there. I haven't cleaned this tank in a minute because I was hoping that I would be able to use this for demo purposes. See, now I got a good, here's a good one. I got a big old chunk of rock, no problem. Pinch my hose, I don't want to be wasting any of that. Knock my siphon tube a few times. I've still trapped all the detritus, and boom! My bucket is full. Now, you don't have to take your fish out of the tank when you do this. You don't need to destroy it to where it looks like that you can't even see in the tank, because I'm controlling what I lift out. Pinch, let it drop, stick it in, open it up, and get it. And on a 5-gallon bucket, I've already done pretty much this entire front third in this area. Granted, there's not a lot of substrate I can get to, but still, the detritus I pulled out of here, I'm going to bring the camera over here. Yuck, right? This is why you want to do partial water changes on a regular basis. All right, so hose length can be a real thing. If your tank is super tall and your hose doesn't get to the bottom of the bucket, this is a good way to have it flip out on you and get water all over the place. So that's one of the things you want to make sure you do. Some of you may notice that I still have wave makers and my pumps are going. I don't unplug my stuff. I let it run. I'm sure there's going to be some trolls that go, that's the way you dry rot it, you burn it up. Yeah, well, tell somebody who hasn't been doing it for 30-something years maintenance that you're going to burn something up. Tell it someone that's too ignorant to know that ain't even a thing. What I know is if I unplug my stuff, there's a great percentage chance that it won't come back on again. I didn't learn that by accident. I learned that by being at clients' homes and unplug their stuff only to find out it wouldn't come back on again. So here we go. Stick, squeeze, whoa, 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 whoa. Looky there. It came out. You know why it came out? The hose is too short, and when I squeezed, I pulled it up. See? So even a pro can make a mistake. But this is sand. If it was gravel, it'd be so much easier. To eliminate that mistake, that's why you bring a chair or a step stool or something over, so you don't end up having water get all over Mama's floor. You want to work on getting a divorce? Do a tank cleaning and siphoning and get this dirty water all over her freshly mopped floor. That's a good way to get in a fight. That's a good household fight right there. And we don't want to get in household fights with Mama. And I sure as hell don't want to have to mop the floor myself. So best thing to do, bring over a stool so that doesn't happen. Okay, so I will do some more videos on this because I think we could do an entire mini-series on the act of siphoning your substrate. It's such a simple subject, and it would seem like such a simple task, but if there's one thing I've realized and observed over the decades of doing this and helping people and showing people how to do it, is sometimes the assumed task of just go siphon your gravel. Oh, like everybody's supposed to just be able to understand how to do it. And what happens is people pull out 10 gallons of water out of their 10-gallon tank in about 3 minutes, and they haven't cleaned no gravel. They're too busy trying to get their buckets changed out, right? So squeezing that hose is key. All those things are super important. Also, this is a saltwater tank. We already have our salt water sitting on the side, so it's going to be real easy for me to add back in. You kind of want to have that prepped already. I don't want to have everything drained down and then have to worry about getting my water. You want all your needs just right around your working area. Put a towel out on the floor. Save yourself some heartache and bagging. Catch any drips that may go. Have your other water ready to go. Take that out. Put your new water in. And if it's about 4 or 5 in the afternoon and you're not at work anymore, this would be a good time to get a beverage and just enjoy the cleanliness of your tank. All right. Hope some people learned something about this. And this is just fish. This is just fish out. So, a slight amendment to our discussion on the siphoning of your aquarium, how to start. Roger reminded me of this, and I'm glad he did. There are 2 pieces of equipment that you may want to unplug or move or adjust. The heater. You never want the heater tube to be exposed to air. So this needs to always be submerged. We're pretending this is a heater now. So if we drop the water level down in your tank and your heater comes on and part of it's exposed to air, especially if it's a glass heater, you're probably going to break the tube. So you want to make sure you either move it down all the way under the water or unplug it, one of the 2. And number 2, if you have a wave maker or power head or some motorized device shooting water out, and you happen to keep that device high in the tank, and your water level will at some point drop below it due to the size of your water change, you could get an unwanted shower or bath. So that piece of equipment, again, you can either shift the magnet down, unsuck it, and then restuck it to a lower level. which I don't like doing because there's a good chance it won't stick back on again. That might be something that would be a good idea to unplug. Of course, if you're looking to get a shower or want to wash the floor, yeah, don't worry about it. You're not going to hurt it, but it is messy. So, yeah. Power heads, wave makers located high where the water level may drop below, that would be a good reason to unplug that. And a heater, very important, you do not let your heaters get exposed to air. Well, guess what? I have to go. There's a phone call coming in. Hello.